Bgmc. The biblical truth lives here.
We are living in a time like no other in history, but fortunately for us, God wrote it all down in His prophecies. Find out what prophecies happened this week ripped straight from the headlines. Stay tuned for the Prophecy Headlines news show on the Remnant's Call.
News! Da 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 da. Prophecy news.
Noticias sobre
News from Israel.
Noticias desde Israel.
Okay, our first news story. Remember last week a Jew was killed on the Temple Mount?
¿Recuerdan la semana pasada un judío fue asesinado en el monte del templo?
Well, some good has come from it.
Algo bueno vino de esto.
This week only Jews were allowed to pray on the Temple Mount.
En esta semana solo judíos se les fue permitido orar en el salón del templo.
And for the first time since 1967 that has happened.
Y por primera vez después del 67, después del 1967, esto ha sido permitido.
And they prayed openly.
Y oraron abiertamente.
The Shema was heard from the Temple Mount.
El Shema fue escuchado desde el monte del templo.
Going on to the next slide. But the fine, peace-loving Muslims didn't like that too much.
Pero los pacifistas musulmanes no le agradó esto.
So yesterday there were clashes between Israel and the Muslims.
Y en el día de ayer hubo una discordia entre los palestinos y los musulmanes y los israelitas.
And 300 Palestinians were injured.
Y unos 300 palestinos fueron heridos.
3 went to go meet the King of the Jews, Messiah, Yeshua.
Y 3 de ellos fueron a encontrarse con el rey Yeshua.
They met their fate and they died.
Ellos, what?
They met their fate and they died.
Ellos quisieron enfrentar su fe y entonces murieron.
But sadly,
pero tristemente,
last night also, the animal Muslims attacked a family during Shabbat.
Y durante Shabbat anoche, los musulmanes atacaron a unos judíos en Shabbat.
And 3 Jews died on Shabbat.
Y 3 judíos murieron en Shabbat.
Get ready, people.
Prepárense.
This is 2 weeks in a row on Shabbat.
Estos son 2 semanas seguidas.
Next slide. Hungary is going to be blessed by the Lord. Hungría
va a ser bendecida por el Señor.
He asked for forgiveness from Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
El presidente le pidió perdón a Benjamin Netanyahu.
Because they did not protect the Jews during World War II, they gave them over to the Germans.
Porque ellos no protegieron a los judíos durante la Segunda Guerra Mundial.
So he asked for forgiveness and forgiveness was given.
Y él pidió perdón y el perdón se le fue dado.
Going on to the next slide. This is why things are now going to get even more difficult. This is why things are going to become more difficult.
Esto es la razón por la cual la cosa va a ser más difícil.
The government has now taken Jerusalem off the table for a peace negotiation.
El gobierno ya está quitando a Jerusalén por asunto de negocios.
So Netanyahu can't offer up part of Jerusalem in a peace offering.
Así que Netanyahu no puede realmente ofrecer a Jerusalén en asunto de tratado de paz.
Going on to the next slide. Mike Pence, our vice president, said this week,
en esa semana Mike Pence, el vicepresidente, dijo
God had a hand in creating the state of Israel.
Que el Señor tiene su mano en crear el Estado de Israel.
We should get a praise offering for that one, guys.
Debemos
Amen.
tener una ofrenda de gracia por esto.
When have you heard a president or vice president say that in your lifetime?
¿Cuándo has escuchado esto en tu vida donde que un vicepresidente haya hecho esto?
Going on to the next slide. Anti-Semitism stories.
Noticias de antisemitismo.
Okay? Tunisia bans Wonder Woman.
Tunisia prohíbe Wonder Woman, la Mujer Maravilla,
Because she's an Israeli.
porque ella es una israelita.
Why don't we ban everything from Tunisia? Not that anything comes out of Tunisia.
¿Por qué prohibimos y no cerramos todo de Tunisia y así?
I didn't even know they had theaters in Tunisia.
No sabíamos que había cines allá en Tunisia.
Going on to the next slide. Anti-Semitism has risen in Britain 44% in 2 years.
El antisemitismo ha crecido 44% en Inglaterra desde 2014.
I wonder why that is.
Y me sorprende por qué es eso.
Must be all those fine, peace-loving Muslim immigrants.
Tiene que ser por estos pacifistas musulmanes y inmigrantes.
Going on to the next slide. End time prophecy. Da 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 da. No, we'll do da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun da dun. Going on to the first news story.
La próxima historia.
Hey, Canada! Oh, Canada! Can you say payment?
Canadá, ¿puedes decir pago?
Canada recently, remember, the euthanasia?
Recientemente se recuerdan cuando Canadá aceptó la eutanasia.
You can't tell a homosexual they're wrong.
No puedes decirle a los homosexuales que está equivocado.
Stop Christians from preaching the word.
Han detenido a los cristianos por predicar la palabra.
Let's see what the Lord did to them this week.
Vamos a ver qué el Señor hizo con ellos esta semana.
32,000 acres are on fire in British Columbia, the largest fire ever.
El mayor fuego que ha habido jamás es 32,000 acres encendidos en fuego.
32, and it's not stopping.
32 acres y no.
It's not stopping. So when you want to stop God,
32,000 acres encendidos y no se detiene.
who gets your attention?
Cuando quieres detener a Dios, entonces Él llamará tu atención.
Can anybody say California?
Todos pueden decir California.
Let's see what's happening in California. Wow.
Vamos a ver qué pasa en California.
There are over 25,000 acres on fire in California right now.
Ahora mismo hay 25,000 acres encendidos en fuego también.
I didn't know there was anything left to burn except Los Angeles.
No sabía que había algo que faltara de quemarse ellos, excepto Los Ángeles.
Must be the killing of people, like euthanasia.
¿Será por el asesinato de personas en la eutanasia?
Going on to the next news story, prophecy news. The Lord says in Exodus 20 verse 13 about murder, do not murder.
El Señor dice en Éxodo 20:13, no asesinarás.
Okay, our news story here. Now in Washington, D.C.,
Aquí en Washington, D.C.,
I think we should start with most of the House and Senate with this particular thing.
yo creo que debemos de... ¿Cómo?
Maybe we should start with the House and the Senate with this particular news story.
What is Senate? Creo que deberíamos de comenzar aquí en la casa y el Senado por esta noticia en particular.
You can now do euthanasia in Washington, D.C.
Ya puedes hacer eutanasia en la capital, Washington.
Why don't we start with Obama? He still lives there.
¿Por qué no comenzamos con Obama? Él todavía vive.
Let's try out this drug use on him.
Vamos a comenzar a usar esta droga en él, en Obama.
And Harry Reid.
Y Harry Reid.
We don't have to worry too much about John McCain. He's going to be leaving us soon.
No vamos a preocuparnos por John McCain porque él casi está
He's got brain cancer.
Él tiene cáncer cerebral.
Going on to the next news story.
Próxima historia.
John 17 verse 14 about being hated for following God's word.
En Juan 17:14 siendo odiados por la palabra de Dios.
News story here.
Y en esa historia.
Listen closely to this one. This one fascinated me.
Escuche atentamente estas noticias fascinantes.
California proposes jail time for using the wrong pronoun for transgenders.
En California ha promovido el tiempo de cárcel por utilizar mal la pronunciación de transgénero.
If you call an old lady, and she wants to be called a man, you can go to jail now.
Así que puedes ir a la cárcel si te confundes y decirle vieja a una señora.
You guys really got to stop smoking pot out there.
Ustedes deben de estar deteniéndose de utilizar hierba ya.
I am not going to call a woman a man because she wants to be called a man. That's just stupid.
No voy a llamarle a una mujer hombre aunque ella quiera, eso es estúpido.
If you want to be brain dead, but you're not going to take me along for the ride.
Si quieres ser muerto cerebralmente, lo puedes hacer tú, pero no debes de arrastrarme contigo.
Going on to the next, the mark of the beast. Listen to this one, everybody.
La marca de la bestia, presten atención a esto.
You think this stuff ain't real?
¿Ustedes creen que las cosas no es
You
real?
think this stuff ain't real?
¿Ustedes creen que eso no es real?
Look what Visa is offering.
Miren lo que Visa está ofreciendo.
They're offering all restaurants $500,000. That's $500,000
Visa está ofreciendo $500,000
to go
$1
cashless.
a los restaurantes para irse sin dinero.
Do you think a restaurant's not going to do that?
¿Crees que los restaurantes no van a hacer esto?
Why are they doing it?
¿Por qué están haciendo esto?
Revelation 13 verse 16 says what? The mark of the beast.
Revelaciones habla de la marca de la bestia.
Going on to the next news story. In the end of days, good will be called evil and evil will be called good.
Al final de los tiempos, lo bueno iba a ser llamado malo y lo malo bueno.
Okay? News story. The new morals.
La nueva moral.
In Florida,
En la Florida,
these teenagers, 14 to 16,
estos adolescentes de 14 a 16
recorded a retarded boy drowning to death.
estuvieron grabando un niño retrasado. Ajá.
They recorded it.
Ellos lo grabaron.
They didn't help the kid. They laughed at the kid.
Ellos no ayudaron al niño, ellos se burlaban de él.
And you want to tell me I'm bad for preaching the gospel?
¿Y ustedes quieren decir que yo soy malo por predicar la palabra?
You're raising morons.
Estás criando a idiotas.
Torah says we protect.
La Torah dice que debemos de proteger.
Now the kids are... This is where... Florida. You might want to leave.
Esto es una
Evelyn.
historia, quizás deberé de escapar de ahí. Evelyn.
They recorded this poor boy drowning and wouldn't help. Didn't even call 911.
Ellos grabaron a este niño ahogándose y ellos ni siquiera llamaron al 911.
Sickness.
Enfermedad.
The Sodomites in Romans 1. We talk about the Sodomites.
Los sodomitas en Romanos 1.
In the news story,
Y en esta nueva historia,
there you see the ark.
ahí puedes ver
Noah's Ark, a replica.
una réplica del arca de Noé.
That is at the Answers in Genesis place.
Eso está en las respuestas y preguntas de Génesis.
Every night it's being lit up by a rainbow.
De toda la noche se colorea se alumbra con un arco iris.
It says the rainbow is a reminder that God will never again judge the wickedness of man with a global flood. Next time the world will be judged by fire. Bottom part here.
Dice que el arco iris representa que el Señor no nos va a inundar más con el agua, sino que se va a ser destruido con el fuego.
Now that's a Christian way of looking at the rainbow.
Y eso es una forma cristiana de ver el arco iris.
The way you should look at the rainbow is this:
La forma de ver el arco iris es esta.
God's sign of judgment.
La señal de Dios de justicia.
That when you live a wicked life, you're going to die.
Que cuando vives una vida en desobediencia, vas a morir.
Because when you die, you die. Next story. Outside of heaven are the drug users. Look at this next story,
Miren
everybody.
esta noticia cuando fuera del cielo están los que usan drogas.
45% of Americans say they've tried marijuana.
Un 45% de americanos dice que ya ha probado la marihuana.
Hey, yo, man, we're gonna smoke a joint, man. 45%.
45%.
Understand, everybody,
Entienda
when you smoke pot,
que
you lose brain cells.
entienda que cuando fumas marihuana pierdes.
Am I right, Dr. Mark? Become foolish because your brain is turning to mush.
Y te retarda un poco porque
And once those brain cells leave, you never get them back.
de una vez que pierdes esas células cerebrales no las tomas de nuevo, no regresan más.
There, look at the picture behind the guy. Look at this man, this next story.
Miren esta historia, en esta fotografía.
That is all syringes.
Syringes.
Needles.
Oh, todo esto son jeringas.
Heroin is at an all-time high use in America.
Estamos en un tiempo bien alto del uso de heroína.
In Portland, Maine, they collected 700 needles.
Y en esta ciudad de Portland, ellos recolectaron unas 700 jeringas.
In March alone, San Francisco
Solamente en marzo, allá en San Francisco,
collected 13,000 syringes.
se reunieron unas 13,000 jeringas.
Keep using them, guys. Go ahead. You'll be dead soon, and we won't take care of you.
Sigan usando esto y morirán, no vamos a tener que preocuparnos de ustedes.
Because Obamacare is going to be repealed. Next news story.
La nueva historia.
Last two stories, war stories. Matthew
Noticias de
24.
Mateo 24.
Here, look at those ships, everybody.
Miren esos buques.
That's Magog.
Ahí está Magog.
Gog and Magog are now doing military drills together.
Gog y Magog están haciendo ejercicios militares juntos.
That's China's naval fleet.
Esas son la naval de China.
They're working together with the Russians to practice
Ellos están trabajando juntos con los rusos en las prácticas.
for the first time in history.
Por primera vez en la historia.
Get ready for the party.
Prepárense para la fiesta.
Next news story. China is about to go to war with India.
Y China está a punto de irse a la guerra con la India.
Okay? They're by the Himalayan territory. The Indians have brought their military by the Himalayan territory.
Y los hindúes ya han traído su milicia a las montañas de las Himalayas.
And in the map over there in the Oneg area,
Y en
where I was,
en el mapa de ahí, en el Oneg, donde yo
that's
estuve,
where the Chinese are.
ese lugar es donde los chinos
It's a
están.
very strategic area between the east and the west.
Es una área estratégica sobre el este y el oeste.
All right, that's enough news for now.
Esto es todo por hoy.
If you're out there, hit the daggone donate button. Shalom. My name is Messianic Rabbi Andrew Dinnerman, and I invite you to come to visit our congregation. If you are in the tri-state area, come out and visit with us on Shabbat. We are a congregation of Jews and Gentiles, living as one in the Messiah Yeshua. Bgmc is a place of true worship. The focus never wanders from the Hebraic roots of our faith. Beth Goyim is rooted in the Word of God from Bereshit through to the book of Revelation. Messiah's strong words against man-made tradition are carefully recorded in Matthew 7. That is the reason we only follow the straight-up instructions found in Scripture, truly the way, the truth, and the life. If you're looking for a deeper walk with Adonai, come out for our Tuesday evening Bible study called Messianic Torah Time. Come, spend the day with us on any Shabbat. We start at 11 a.m. with the sound of the ancient Hebrew shofar. Next, we offer our King praise and worship in English, Hebrew, and Spanish. After worship, we review the headlines in the previous week's news from around the globe, especially news from the Holy Land, Israel. We don't just list the news headlines as current events, but we comb through the scriptures, searching for clues to understand what they mean and then to help pinpoint prophetically our current position on Adonai's clock. After digesting all that modern information, we leave the world behind as we journey with our Adonai deep into His eternal Word, not with just one or two scriptures, but usually 7 or more scriptures. The spiritual nourishment and the richness of His kingdom become accessible to the ones who share this special time and seek them out. The day does not end there. Because Shabbat is so special to Him, there is always so much more that our King desires to share. So instead of separating and leaving, we stay together as a family for potluck lunch and an afternoon study of our King's Word. We close the Shabbat together with the reading of the new week's parashah. That's the Torah portion. Even after those blessings, many of us just can't get enough. So the members bring prepared homemade foods to share while we all enjoy an uplifting movie together. If all that information is not quite enough, you can check out our website where you will find over 200 video teachings and biblical holy day studies. Under Messianic Torah Time, the Hebrew Roots button, you'll discover free studies on many different topics, including PowerPoint slide presentations. If Beth Goyim sounds like a place you'd love to visit, but you live outside the tri-state area, there is still a way to connect with us. We stream live on the internet on Tuesday, Thursday, and Shabbat. The website is www.bethgoyim.org. That's BETHGOYIM.org. Our phone number is 973-338-7800 or 978-2-YESHUA. That's 978, the number 2, Yeshua. Shalom.